Leave the world around us. They don't need to know.
This is Hansshow Model 3Y rear controller for your climate, audio, and seat heater. This video is in collaboration with the Automotive Fanatic. Automotive Fanatic is run by Peter. If you're not familiar with his channel, please see the description of this video and remember to subscribe. He focuses on Tesla as well as any other do-it-yourself modification. So moving on to the installation of this rear controller from Hansshow, you first need to remove the OEM vent cover with the vent by pulling it towards you. It's held on by a few clips, and by pulling it out, you also want to be careful to not yank it out completely and remove the cable that is attached to the vent. This cable powers the two USB that you will reattach later on onto the Hansshow rear controller. So you do need to swap over this vent as well as the computer beneath it. So to remove this vent, there's two torque screws on the top. Those are T20. So we'll go ahead and move over to the bench and show you how to do that now. So over to the bench, we remove the two torque screws on the top. Those are T20. And there's a clip on each side as well as four on the bottom. You just need to pry that open and pull this straight out. And on the bottom, you do have that computer module that you do need to transfer over to the Hansshow rear controller. To do this, you just unscrew the two torque screws on both sides and it will slide right off. You do have to transfer this over to be able to use the USB on the Hansshow rear controller. We want to show you this torque screw. This is what you use to take off the screw. For the two bottom screw on the bottom, you do need a smaller torque screw. This is T10. So once you transfer over, so we just want to show you that clip in the middle. This is the vent. That clip in the middle has no purpose. It's really a guidance tool for the OEM vent cover. But once you transfer over to the Hansshow rear controller, there is a computer module on the top that allows the display to be there and for you to be able to use the touchscreen. So it does take away a little space. All you have to do is cut this tab off. And by cutting this tab off in the middle, the center tab, it has no impact to you reverting back to OEM later on. So it does not impact any warranty with the vent whatsoever. Once you cut that tab off, move back into your vehicle. Now you will connect the wiring harness. Before you can do that, you need to take off the bottom cover here, located between the rug and the center console in the rear seats. So sitting in the rear seats, get a pry tool, pull from the bottom in the center towards yourself while you're sitting in the rear seat. And this will loosen the four clips and you should be able to pull it right out. Again, it's held on by four clips, so you won't be breaking or drilling any holes. Next, we want to talk about this OBD connector. You will use the Hansshow adapter, so make sure you select either you have AMD or Intel by going onto your main display to check more information under safety. So once you have the wiring harness from Hansshow, you will see a smaller wire that is to control the actual passenger seat. So moving it forward, backwards, or recline, incline. You can install this or not install it, but highly recommend if you purchase this product, it is very user friendly to allow rear passenger to have more leg space. When there's no passenger in the front, you can control the seat. How to run this wires up? You don't need any fishing tools. You just have to tuck it in on the left side. While you're tucking in with one hand, you will be pulling up the wires with your other hand from below the vent opening. So as you can see there, once it's tucked up, you will be able to reach for that wire. So make sure that connection is clearly out of the way of the vent cover once you put it back. So you can use a zip tie or any string to tie together the wire so it doesn't hang loose. And you also have a lot of space on the bottom of the vent cover So you want to make sure it does not interfere with the vent itself. So here we have the Hansshow rear controller with the vent and the computer module transferred over from the OEM vent cover earlier. And we will be connecting this to the Hansshow display from the wiring harness that we just fished up. Once you've done that, go ahead and place the Hansshow rear controller back on. You can leave it loose until you get the wiring connected on the bottom, just to see how much length you have before you fully attach. So now moving back to the OBD connector, this is the Hansshow white U-loop that you will pigtail onto this blue adapter. So you disconnect the car blue adapter from the male blue adapter, which is from Tesla vehicle, connect it to the Hansshow white female connection. So you want to just go ahead and plug this in. Once you attach that, take the Hansshow male connection and plug that into the Tesla blue female connection. So from blue to white, from white to blue, and make sure you tuck away the wires so it's out of the way so you can put the cover back on later. As you can see there, there's plenty of space. So we'll go ahead and test out the display to make sure it's working. So let's go ahead and move up and see how the display looks. So this display is now turned on after it's plugged in. You will see a clock, and we'll go ahead and align this and place this back on. So the touchscreen, make sure that it's working properly before you put everything back together. So right now we see the display is on and it looks to be that it's functioning normally. Now we will clean up the wire in the back, make sure it's not interfering with the vent, and pushing on the rear controller display with the vent. For this part, take your time, make sure it's on there with all the clips attached before you put any pressure on to close it up. Make sure your armrest is working properly and then give it a final nudge with the bottom of your fist. So here it is with everything flush installed. It fits perfectly and it lines with the center console itself. You can see the plug on the bottom. That cover will go on after. We'll go ahead and test out this display and make sure all the functions are completely working without any issue. So as you can see with gloves on, it doesn't work. It does only work if you have bare fingers. So no gloves, nothing on your fingers, and you can touch on either side. It won't turn on. To turn it on, touch on the center of the clock. You can also turn off the display completely out by just clicking on the power on and off button. You can see the fan speed. You can control your fan speed from the rear. You can also see the vent is on for the rear passenger. You can turn off this vent by clicking on the bottom left and turn off the rear fan. So before, without this rear controller, you only can do that from the main display from front seat. You can also turn on and off your seat heater for the rear passenger yourself, so you don't have to rely on the front driver or the passenger of the front to do this for you. You can also adjust your passenger seat back and forth or recline, incline when you install the small wiring harness that attached to your passenger seat. You can control your audio, your music, your volume. So overall, the installation took less than 30 minutes. And once you have it installed, it looks like it came with the vehicle. Again, Tesla does not provide this controller for the rear passenger. You will have to rely on the driver or the front passenger to control your seat heater, your vent, or even see the clock. You will have to see it from the front display. So it's great that now you have the option to be able to install this in your Tesla Model 3 or Y. And we'll post a link in the description of this video on where you can purchase. Also, there is a discount code. Make sure you use that discount code in the checkout, and it will save you up to 25% at the moment. Thanks for your support, and check out other products on hansshow.com.